And we're live. Woo! Hello, YouTubes.
Hi.
Hello, Google Pluses. It is Andy and Troy today.
Trendy.
Trandy, back again. Ready to do this.
That's right.
We'll see what we can talk about today. Probably not much. But
Probably not.
yeah, probably not much. I am behind on wrestling, as I just mentioned, off air, and Troy has a rebellious young child. Extremely rebellious.
That's right. I am ready to go if you want to kick right into it.
Yeah, let's see here. Why does it say I've lost my mask? That is not. There we go. Much better. Taking over this show. Thank you. All right. So you're all ready? Got everything set up?
Yep.
All right. Then let's do this in 3, 2, 1, record. This week's episode of The Rundown is brought to you by Audible, the leading provider of audiobooks on the internet. For a free audiobook and a 30-day trial, go to audibletrial.com/rundown today. That's audibletrial.com/rundown. Do it, or Adam will commit suicide. Oh, wait, I forgot what else to do those jokes anymore.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Pretend that didn't happen. Pretend that happened.
I'll cut it out in post.
There you go. That sounds good. I'll try to do my best Adam impression here.
I'm Adam.
This week's episode of The Rundown is brought to you by Nikki Bella and the letters C, U, N, and T. Nikki Bella, fuck you, cunt.
Wow, just not even just that's insane. Hey, so this week I've got a little opener as is how this show runs. Let's play the game of guess who got a 30-day wellness violation. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I did.
Can you guess, Troy?
My guess was that it was someone that wasn't employed by the WWE anymore, and boy was I surprised. This person was still employed by WWE.
And that person would be?
A guy from the town that I live in, Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle suspended for 30 days for his first ever wellness violation. Troy, I got to ask you, they're never specific about these things. We never really know what the wellness violation is. If you had to guess what Hornswoggle did to earn himself a 30-day wellness violation, what would you guess that would be?
I would assume that he took some HGH, thinking that human growth hormone actually made you grow taller.
It's a good one. I was going to say he, spiked his Lucky Charms a bit.
Oh, there you go. That's good too.
Yeah. You know what else is good? Is good, Troy?
What's that?
Theme song.
We're getting yelled at.
We're getting yelled at, are we? What did we do already? I had to close my Facebook because he's I heard it come through my microphone.
Yeah. You guys realize what time it is, right? We're not all in Central Time.
Tell him we're broadcasting. He's probably our one viewer.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, folks. It is, I don't know, what's today? It is September 29th, 2015. We are at episode 218 of The Rundown. My name is Andy, and I am one of your two hosts tonight. Yes, back from the dead. It's been about a month and a half, I think. I don't know, maybe 3. I have no idea. Joining me this week, the one, the only, the man who's picked up my slack is Troy.
Woo! I think I've officially reached co-host status because I've been on the show so much.
You would think it would be co-host, but Adam doesn't really do the co-host thing. So he always says guest host or joining me this week. So whenever I'm running things, I like to be a little more generous and say my co-host for the evening. Because, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You've earned it, sir. You've earned it. So how's things going?
Well, we sadly don't have that much to talk about in the news.
No, it's kind of a news kind of dry sort of week.
Yeah. I mean, we got some stuff going on TV right now, but we're at that terrible point yet again where we're waiting until Royal Rumble rolls around in order for things to get interesting.
What about Survivor Series, man? Survivor Series.
I don't care. Unless they're going to do like a Divas versus Women's Champion Survivor Series match, Lita, Trish
nice.
Stratus, something like that. That would be great. It's not going to fucking happen.
No, never.
Instead, we're going to get like heels versus faces on the women, then probably Women's Championship match thrown in there. We know we're getting Brock versus Undertaker.
Are we sure? Is that it? That's Hell in a Cell, right?
Oh, that is Hell in a Cell. Yeah, you're right.
We'll probably get that because
we'll probably get that. Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
And then we'll definitely going to get John Cena and a bunch of his guys versus the New Day and Eric Rowan. Maybe throw him in there and Bad News Barrett.
Yeah, maybe Bad News Barrett. I can see that. That'd be a great team. I'd watch that match.
John Cena will have his flunkies again, and it'll be like Zack Ryder,
Dolph Ziggler
for sure. Let me think what else here. Neville for sure would probably be in there. And then the Lucha Dragons.
There you go. I book it, man. Book this match.
That match. Yep.
All right. We have one viewer on the side. His name is Sean, not Adam, even though Adam has been bitching. By the way, Adam is available, but doesn't want to join us, which is fine with me. This means it'll go a little quicker. But Sean on the side says, Hornswoggle saw El Torito's abs and said, damn, I need to take some roids to get on his level. Probably what happened.
Probably. Yeah.
There we go. Apparently I missed this last week.
Yeah.
So adorable.
That's exactly what you missed.
No.
Yes.
Folks at home, this is what parenting is. And this is why I don't have kids. I just have booze. So, and a dog named Zeus. All right, so mark that as done. Take a nap. You should take a nap.
Yep. You should be taking a nap.
Isn't yours your bedtime?
This is where you go.
It's your bedtime. You should go to bed.
Yeah, he's always.
All right.
And that was great. That was fantastic.
Can you vamp for a little bit?
I will vamp. Actually, we'll use this opportunity to play a voicemail, and then I'll just kind of fill you in.
Okay.
All right, so there's the lovely background noise. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We've got a voicemail from. I'll have to cut that out. Don't worry. I'll cut that in post. I'm a much better editor than Adam is. So let's start with a voicemail, and I wonder who it could possibly be. I mean, who are the only people that potentially send voicemails to our number, which is 206-202-6478. That's 206-20 angst. So here's our first voicemail. I will play it nice and loud.
What's up, Android? Or I would assume Trandy, or whatever you guys are calling yourself this week. If you're able to check this voicemail, which I hope you are, I do have a couple things I want to talk about. But just in case you're not, I'm going to make sure that these things aren't Raw specific, so that if you check it next week, it'll still have validity. Before I get into that, I would just like to say to Troy that last week you showed me why I can never co-host, because my 3 little daughters would be running around causing all types of havoc. My oldest would probably take the webcam from me and just, have her own show and start her own podcast.
Or the fact that if you were on the show, it would always be 3 hours long.
Hey, we could actually watch Raw in the background while
we could, and then we'd have something to talk about. Maybe we actually could watch the product and do a show about it. All right, here we go. What you doing on?
Continue on.
Yeah, that's why I don't co-host. But anyway, a couple things I did want to talk about this week. Am I a bad wrestling fan?
Yes.
if I want Brock Lesnar to beat The Undertaker at Hell in a Cell and then just be done with it. I've never been an Undertaker mark, but I've respected him. I've liked him. I've cheered for him at different times, but I just want Brock to be done with Taker. I want him to bury The Undertaker at Hell in a Cell, and I never, ever want to hear about this feud again. that bad. And the second thing that kind of goes with that is I want to get you guys' thoughts on WrestleMania 32. I know we're far, but where should we be going at WrestleMania 32? What kind of matches would you guys like to see booked for 32? If you could do fantasy booking, who would you have face Seth? Would you still have Seth as the champ? Would you incorporate Brock and Kevin Owens and Cena and everybody into different matches? What would the rundown do if they could write WrestleMania 32? With that, I will talk to you guys next week.
All right, and that is our obligatory voicemail. So it's an interesting. Well, you kind of had 2 points here. Number one, talking about this feud between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. We talked about it just a little bit ago. Kind of at least mentioned it. What are your thoughts? And again, I'm a little behind on WWE, but I have seen enough of this to know what's going on here. Do we care at this point about Taker Lesnar? Was it 3 now?
It would be 3. Well, the only reason we care is because it's a rubber match. So we've got that going on. I think once we have the rubber match, we'll probably be done with it anyways. I don't really see them getting too much more life out of this. I don't think that they're going to risk Undertaker wrestling the 4th time. So, yeah, I think a Hell in a Cell is going to be the end of it. I don't think that we're going to see these guys wrestle at Mania again.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think that Brock needs to move on to other things. I don't want to say better things. This feud hasn't been bad by any means, but I think that this should be the last we see of the 2 of them in their 3rd match, and definitely move on. Moving on to his other question about WrestleMania 32, which is a ways away. If you had a fantasy book, and I heard this voicemail a little earlier, and I came up with a couple matches, but I haven't really put together the entire card. Where do you kind of see WrestleMania 32, given where we're at now, or where do you want to see it go?
I think the opening match should be Bret Hart versus Martha Hart in an Owen Hart's corpse on a pole match.
That's some classic booking right there.
We're gonna end this feud once and for all. I would love to see maybe the Brothers of Destruction against Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
That would be interesting fantasy booking.
Yeah, this is completely fantasy booking.
That is 100% fantasy.
Yeah, I could give you real answers, but they're not as entertaining.
No. I when I was thinking about this question, and I thought about it a little more seriously, I really want to see the main event be Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. Come full circle, bring the 3 of these guys together in the main event, build up a storyline where all 3 are credible. Maybe break up Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns so that way there's a real tension between the 3 of them. Maybe turn Reigns heel. Seth is kind of on the boundary right now as it is. Like he's still a heel, but like he does get over fairly well with some fans. And then make Dean Ambrose like the babyface in this, and then maybe put Dean Ambrose over and give Ambrose the title reign at WrestleMania. But I would definitely keep. Well, this isn't just because Seth's my boy, but I would definitely want to keep the title on Seth going into Mania, especially given the fact that he's been booked so. I don't want to say poorly because I still really enjoy his matches and everything that he's involved with, but has not been really kind of booked in the strongest manner.
Yeah, I think that the triple threat would be a good idea. You can easily create tension between Ambrose and Reigns at the Rumble. You could have it come down to the 2 of them and have one of them take the other one out, or have them take each other out.
Right.
Do they tied, so they both go to Mania.
Oh please, no. We don't need another Bret Hart Lex Luger incident for '94.
But that I think that. My mic is falling down. I think that
don't worry.
Oh,
it's okay.
It's okay. I don't know if they're going to go the triple threat match again, though. You know, I mean, we've had the triple threat main event match the past 2 years at Mania, so
Well, I guess we have.
So I don't know if we'll have that. At some point in time, we do have to have a Sheamus title run, or
That's true.
because he does have that. I mean, they're not going to do it again at Mania, so
No, that could also wait until after Mania.
that is true.
Because I think when is that pay-per-view? I don't keep track unless it's one of the main ones, but
It's July, I think. July or August. So yeah, there's plenty of time that you could do it afterwards.
right.
Speaking of that, though, Seth Rollins is officially the longest reigning WWE champion who won it by cashing in the Money in the Bank.
Interesting fact.
So yeah, I saw that today. He beat The Miz.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So
There's
that's
a record to be proud of.
yeah. So that's kind of cool. Otherwise, I mean, just looking at the different tag team divisions, it would be awesome to get the Hardy Boys to come back, maybe face off against the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe even throw in the New Day and do like a TLC triple threat match again, except with the New Day instead of Edge and Christian.
That'd be awesome. I would be all for that. I think that would be completely entertaining. And especially with what TNA has turned itself into recently. I mean, you know that the Hardy Boys are going to be looking for a bigger paycheck.
Yeah. Well, we did kind of write off Jeff Hardy on TNA, so he could easily be gone. You know, Matt Hardy's got his pay per appearance deals, so he's free to do whatever he wants with them.
Right.
So he's not beholden to TNA at all, and TNA might not even be a company by the time WrestleMania rolls around. So
that is true. Last I heard, I think that they have their deal extended out on Destination America until I think February. So yeah, they may not be around. They may not be around.
Yeah. That puts it right at that sweet spot.
It does, absolutely.
Other matches for WrestleMania, I don't really know. I mean, there's no real big. You know, we had the Goldust Stardust feud that we all wanted to see at Mania, and that never really took place. So maybe Goldust would be healed up by then. In terms of the Wyatt family, other than maybe having them face off against the Godwins,
That'd be fantastic.
I don't see much out for that. I would love to see
bring back the Ministry, right? And get like Phineas as whatever his Midian or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that it would be nice to see Triple H in some kind of match, maybe against The Rock. Otherwise, maybe Rock and Brock. I think Stone Cold finally said he wasn't going to be at Mania against Brock Lesnar, which obviously would have been everyone's dream match to see.
Yeah, that's what I'd written down. Is I would love to see that, or I would love to see Austin Taker, two big Texans. Names right out of Texas, and maybe that'd be Taker's final goodbye.
Yeah, that would be nice to say too. Or you can have a Texas 3-step. Maybe throw Shawn Michaels in the mix on that one too.
There you go.
Or
someone's itching to see HBK back in the ring.
4-step, and let's get Mark Henry in there.
Because every match is better with Mark Henry.
Monday we had Mark Henry versus Big Show, match of the year. So
wow, I'm glad I missed that. I'm sure with my luck they did not cut that out of Hulu if I go back and watch that.
Yeah. So you might did you watch the last pay-per-view then?
I did watch the last pay-per-view.
Okay, so you're well aware of the fact that the Demon Kane is back.
I am, although when I read a little bit of a review of Monday Night Raw last night, it sounds like he wasn't as the Demon. He was as Corporate Kane.
So we're doing, maybe this is out of your wheelhouse. We're doing a little bit of the Joseph Parks Abyss angle from TNA, where Kane shows up as Corporate Kane. Then later on in the night, will suddenly show up as Demon Kane. To the point where Monday, as Corporate Kane, he got his ass handed to him by Seth, got put into an ambulance. Later on in the night, they cut back to the ambulance, and there was red smoke billowing from it. The doors opened, and Kane, the demon, came out. Don't know where he was keeping that outfit or the mask. But it was on him. So apparently he's like Sailor Moon now, and he can just change and his clothes just appear on him.
That would be so fucking rad. Oh my God, Sailor Kane! Sign me up. I would watch
right.
that anime.
So that's Kane's new thing now. Is he's playing mind games with Seth. Not the terrible movie, or the terrible song. Yeah, he's screwing with Seth now, kind of being like, "Oh no, I'm not insane or anything like that." They had a whole dumb segment where he was getting psychologically evaluated to make sure he wasn't crazy. I'm pretty sure that his clean bill of health was written in crayon. So now we did have another moment where on Monday he was dragged down to hell and raped underneath the ring. So that's still a thing that Kane does. So chalk up another one. That's why if you would watch last week, my lower third said that Seth Rollins got Katie Vicked.
Awful.
Yeah. So it is 2015. And
Yes.
we are very close to the road to WrestleMania. And Kane is going to get a title shot.
Yeah. There was an article I was perusing through stuff, and someone, I don't remember what the website was, but someone had made the claim that Kane was the greatest professional wrestler of all time. And I just looked at the title of it, and I laughed. I couldn't bring myself to actually open that article and read it. But it is interesting. I guess it is a way, maybe if Seth Rollins can go over clean on Kane, then at least then maybe that will be a way to help build him up, and it's not going to hurt Kane's legacy at all, because God knows Kane has already ruined Kane's legacy.
Yeah. Well, we did have Seth go over cleanly on Sting, so he has beaten people cleanly.
Right.
Obviously, he beat John Cena for both title belts, but that was maybe not as spectacularly clean as possible.
Right.
So he's been booked a little bit stronger lately, and they've definitely been kind of playing on the notions that maybe the Authority is done with him. So there was talk of maybe a Triple H Seth Rollins match at Mania,
which would be interesting.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's what we're gonna do. If in order to do that, we'd have to take the title off Seth, probably.
You know what she sounds like? She's trying to make that noise that Kane did when he had that little voice box. In the name of hellfire and brimstone, I will incinerate you. I'm still imagining him as Sailor Moon. I can't help it. This is fantastic. I really want to write this fan fiction.
Mercury bubbles.
Oh, fantastic. So yeah, any other match? What does Cena do at WrestleMania 32?
Dies.
Oh my! Wow!
Oh, sorry. That was that was my wish.
Is that your Make-A-Wish?
That would be my Make-A-Wish, actually.
Cena,
Can
you take this rusty knife, Cena, and just run it across your throat? I have cancer. I would just love that.
Yeah. Is it wrong to wish my kid would get cancer so I could do that Make-A-Wish?
Oh my God, that's really awful. Oh my God, that's terrible. Oh, good Lord, man.
Oh, gosh.
I hope your wife didn't hear that.
Oh, don't worry. She only half listens to this. She skips ahead until
she clearly understands that this show is not doesn't have listeners.
Yeah, exactly. I can say whatever the hell I want because there's only 4 people listening. So
it's true. It's true.
And most of the time, whenever this one comes on the podcast, people just tune out anyway. So
fair enough. All right. So shall we go to our second voicemail?
I think so.
All right. I got to load it up real quick. Let's see, where the hell's it at? I have a feeling I know what this one's going to be, though. I just have a feeling. Hang on, it's downloading. Apparently, I thought I had it downloaded. Apparently not. All right, here we go. Stop. And here we go.
Hey, this is Disney Ross Murphy. I just want to say that I am not a big fan of the way you guys are portraying me on your little wrestling podcast over there. So I really prefer if you would stop taking the name of Disney Ross Murphy in vain. Thank you very much. Oh, green pineapple?
Sadly, I couldn't hear that very well because you've got a little monster child right now. But no, did you catch who that was from?
That was the worst impression of me I've ever heard.
Is that was that supposed to be you?
So this is again where you not listening to the podcast really hurts things.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm kind of busy.
A couple of weeks ago, I invented a character called Jizz in Your Mouth Murphy, which was essentially. Hold on a second.
That really horrendous noise in the background is Troy messing with his mic.
Sorry, folks. Yeah, so I created a character who was in the back talking to John Cena and explaining to him why his wife was going to, or future wife was going to lose her title belt. And it was essentially someone who had John Cena's penis in his mouth the entire time. So apparently that's an impression of me doing an impression of a guy with John Cena's penis in his mouth.
All right. And
or as maybe we'll just cut this entire part off. Just in your mouth, Murphy, I'm very sorry that we mocked you on the show. I wasn't aware you were a real person. I will definitely go ahead and delete the Facebook page I made for you as well. And yeah, so sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it's we'll get rid of that Facebook. We'll get rid of that MySpace, that Grindr account. Like we'll just get rid of all that.
Well, I'll probably keep the Grindr account.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, shall we move on to some other news bits here? One thing that I found that was it was somewhat interesting. Did you know that WWE topped YouTube's channels for number of viewers for the month of August? They were number 1. Wow. Do you want to take a guess on the other top 4 of the top 5, not counting WWE? Because this is what I was amused by.
So what were they number 1 on again?
So it was number 1 on YouTube for August, and they had 454.4 million views on different watches on YouTube.
Okay.
So what was 2 through 5?
2 through 5 would be me beating the fuck out of my child.
That is incorrect, but close.
Okay. I'm gonna say at least one of the 3 of them, or one of the 4 of them, have to be a cat video.
Cat video is incorrect.
Porn
Porn is incorrect. Surprisingly, it's YouTube though, so they can't really get away with much of that. So while you are disciplining your child, I will read them off. Number 2 was a British children's music channel titled Little Baby Bum.
Ooh.
Which had 448.4 million views last month. The next one is Netted Music, a Turkish music channel, which had 433.6 million. Also, there was a Minecraft channel, and number 5 was BuzzFeed. So WWE beat out BuzzFeed.
Well, to be honest, BuzzFeed's got like 15 different channels. I'm sure if they pooled all of their channels together, they'd be fine.
They probably would beat WWE. Absolutely. All right, let's go through a couple of other little quick things, and we'll get you off so you can get you off. That's not what I meant to say. So you could head on out and
I could use it after a night like tonight.
You'll have to talk with your wife on that one. Presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. We're going to talk a little politics here. Was actually seen this weekend at an Iowa independent wrestling show. He visited 3X Wrestling this weekend. Oh my gosh, poor girl. Talking. That's okay. Bernie Sanders attended a 3X Wrestling show in Iowa, which. I don't want to talk about politics, but I do like this Bernie Sanders guy, and this just makes it a little more interesting. One of the talents at this particular show, Austin Savin, if that's how you pronounce his name, I apologize, Mr. Austin, if I mispronounced your last name. He actually went on record and quoted, at one point, a pair of young women asked to take a photo, and Mr. Sanders politely asked them to wait until the end of the match. Super nice guy, couldn't have been more respectful of our crazy little subculture. So there you go, folks. We could have a president of the United States who likes independent wrestling. So if you want to support independent wrestling, vote Bernie Sanders. That is the moral of the story. If you want to really support the independent wrestling, vote for Bernie Sanders. So there you go.
That's right. Maybe we can start a new campaign.
Yeah.
Backdrops for Bernie.
Yes, backdrops for Bernie. I love it. We'll have to see if we can get him on the show. I'm sure he would love the press. Like we tell him, like 3 people are going to listen and be like, that's great. That's 3 more votes.
That's 3 Americans that I wouldn't have gotten together with beforehand. As long as I can touch the hearts of millions, even if it's through heart punches. Or
touching the hearts of Americans through heart punches. I love it.
Or through some big chops, for sure.
Some big Iowa pork chops? Is that what we're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
I could go for a big Iowa pork chop right now. Sounds amazing.
So that begs the question. Who would win in a 10-person over-the-top battle royale for the presidential election?
Well, Donald Trump has a history at WWE TV as well. So it would be interesting to see if both of them get the nomination from their parties, if WWE can wrangle getting both of them in. If Bernie Sanders is a wrestling fan and Donald Trump is a close friend of Vince McMahon, could we potentially see a wrestling match between these 2 people leading up to the presidential candidacy in 2016? Well, that would be... Book that for WrestleMania.
Yes, let's book that, and let's make sure that we give Hillary Clinton a title shot.
Absolutely. Put her in the women's championship match.
Yeah. She can snap off a mean Hurricane Rana, so
she can. I really want to see that, like, match between her and Charlotte. It would be fantastic.
I have a feeling though, that might end in shenanigans when Barack Obama comes out and hits the Barack bottom. Hillary Clinton.
Oh, that is fantastic. Let's see. Anything else? What do I have else to talk about? That was Bernie Sanders. I talked about YouTube. Hey, Nikki Bella. Going back to our opening. Did you see Nikki Bella's interview recently?
No. let me put it this way. Did I see it? I saw it existed. Did I listen to it? No.
So Nikki Bella was shocked. She was flabbergasted. She was taken aback by the fact that, and not taking it in the back, which is probably normal, but she was taken aback by a claim that people were saying that her title run and the fact that she continued to hold the title and beat AJ Lee's record for WWE Divas Champion had something to do with John Cena. That John Cena had the sway to basically keep the title on Nikki Bella. And there's a quote. Here's a little bit of a quote from her interview. She says, "It shocks me that the rumors that people start that I have this title because of my boyfriend. He has nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do with anyone's story or anything like that. He has 0 pull."
Oh, well, I guess we got to take that as testament then. Because he definitely, I believe Nikki Bella over, Chris Jericho's story about, we can't have Wade Barrett beat me. Yeah, Cena definitely has no pull, not whatsoever.
No, none.
Nobody believes you, you dumb bitch. Nobody at all. Okay, well, not everybody, but any smart fan or smart, mind you, will. We know what goes on behind doors. We know how things are. We know what goes on at the backstage. You're looking at a guy who is the top guy in the company and who has continued to be the top guy in the company because the company has made him the top guy. It's so much so that they alter merchandise sales for him. They have more of his shirts than anyone else's on the stands. It's really believe that this would be believed by more than 25% of the actual fans.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to reply to Adam. I think what happened, Adam can't get in because the original link I posted may not be the same one as this Google Hangout. But oh well, it doesn't matter. The three listeners can go back and watch it on YouTube if they really want.
Yeah, and we didn't want you in anyways, Adam.
That's true.
So.
That was our plan all along. We actually linked you up
Yeah.
to something a little bit more salacious, but we won't mention it here. So yeah, it seems strange that the guy who is making the most money for WWE has absolutely no pull. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
No, you ask any wrestler that's ever worked for WWE, and they'll tell you the same thing. There are certain people in the back. Shut up, Adam. That that run the place back there. I mean, you got all the stories about the Undertaker is the guy in the back that everyone turns to. He's the fatherly figure. He's the head of the jury, so to speak, back there. And
right,
in the 90s, you had the Click. Before that, you had Hogan and his him running around and doing everything. Now Cena doesn't abuse it as much as Hogan, but
right.
he has used it. He's used his creative control that he has in his contract. He's used the fact that he's the big money maker and he holds a lot of power back there. So if he wants his girlfriend to be the Intercontinental Champion, she's going to be the fucking Intercontinental Champion. If he wants if he wants to have a live sex celebration on there, he'll be ripping off Edge, but it's going to happen. Full penetration on that one, folks.
Yeah, it is an asinine thing to say. I think she's just a little bitter, and I will give Nikki Bella a little credit. She has evolved quite a bit as a wrestler. She has gotten better. Did she need to be the one to break AJ's record? No. Did they do that for petty reasons? Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happened. She's no longer champion. We're moving on.
Yeah.
It's nothing to dwell on. And if she was smart, she just would have kept her mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah, because now at this point, you're not champion anymore. So you could have easily kind of let the dust settle on that. And, people will sit there and look and be like, oh, look at that. A couple years ago, Nikki Bella had the longest reigning championship ever. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam on the side says, I feel so betrayed. It's okay, man.
See, when I put something on Facebook about, this is going to be an all Trandy episode, I expect it to be all Trandy. So I don't need you chiming in over there, trying to ruin our show, trying to bust up our fun.
We could just ignore him. I mean, we do that anyway.
Pretty much.
So there you go.
Yeah. This episode will probably never see the light of day, by the way.
It will. I mean, as long as it's over.
Yeah, it'll just be really heavily edited, and all of a sudden you'll just hear his voice keep coming in, overdubbing us over it.
No, it's okay because I know the password to Podomatic. So
there you go.
So I'm just gonna post on Podomatic myself and edit it myself. So
nice.
Which Adam doesn't mind when I do the editing because that's one less thing he has to do. That makes him happy. So. It's okay. I've got other things to edit tonight too. So I gotta, I've got that really wildly successful podcast, the Shadow Vein podcast, which is doing very, very well. Very, very well.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that later. Last news story that I had was the interview that Daniel Bryan had with Sport360.com, where he was talking about his potential return to the ring and talking about the fact that, given, if he were to get back in the ring, and he said he feels, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing, that he could be prepared to get back in the ring, he'd be able to monitor concussions after each match with stress tests or whatever it was called, and possibly get back in the ring. He feels like he can get it back in now. Do you think that Daniel Bryan will ever be back in a WWE ring, or is this just him hoping?
I think he could potentially be back. For sure, Royal Rumble match, because you don't have as much of a chance of getting hit in the head during that.
True.
Will he ever hold a title again? Probably not. Will he ever really be on a sustained feud anymore? Probably not. At this point, it's probably be better to transition him to more of a special attraction kind of thing. Maybe build up to it and maybe have him start thinking about what's next after his career is over, because it's getting there. I mean, he takes one more concussion and he's done. So
Absolutely.
and the last thing we need is to have him, crisp and wise family up, or or do something, something else, or spend the rest of his life not remembering who the hell he is.
Absolutely.
So at this point, as much as we all love Brian, as much as we want to see him back, I'd much rather see him live a life after wrestling. So
Right. Don't become a victim of the system.
yeah, and honestly, I was worried when he came back and didn't change his style at all.
Which was dumb.
Yeah, and it yet again, here it is. It proved all of us right when we were saying, why is he still doing this stuff? Well, then he got a concussion. Yeah, it wasn't the same. It wasn't his shoulder that got hurt again, but it was another injury because he's doing stuff that he doesn't need to do.
Right. Absolutely.
You look at a guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He used to do a lot more shit in the ring before he broke his neck. And then once he had his fusion surgery and everything like that, he changed as a wrestler. He still had the majority of his title runs after he had his neck injury, though.
Mm-hmm.
But just because he changed his style to more of a brawling style and, less of his, like high, not that he was doing like, backflips off the top rope by any stretch of imagination, but he was doing more in the ring than what he did afterwards. So I think if Brian would transition away and stop doing the dives to the outside and don't do the diving headbutt, and honestly just don't do as much as you've been doing, you'd be able to prolong a career a little bit more.
Yeah. Bill and I, buddy Bill, who's a big fan of the show, obviously, and I were talking about this once, and we both agreed he's got such a technical background and technical ability. He could turn himself into a submission wrestler, bring back some of that submission wrestling that we don't see in the WWE as much anymore, and he could have been just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he could honestly start wrestling more of the Lance Storm style, where it's big aggressive move, from a standing position or German suplexes, things like that, but also then the aspect of like you said, the submission wrestling on it. There's nobody needs to see you go flipping flying through the ropes anymore, because everyone does that now. When he was on the indies, that was kind of the mentality of everyone's got to do big flashy moves to get over and everything like that. Whereas
he's already over.
Yeah, he's already over. We don't need to see that kind of stuff. People are gonna pop for the label lock. They're gonna pop for the running knee. They're gonna pop for pretty much everything the guy does in the ring. And he could easily just throw on a Texas Cloverleaf and people are gonna be excited. The guy knows how to do it. He just feels that he needs to do this high flying stuff.
Right.
So if that's the last news story you have, you're missing a big one this week then.
Oh, what am I missing?
Sonny.
Okay. Okay. We're talking about big in some ways, but go ahead.
Yeah. So Tammy Cinch, whatever her fucking name is, Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny.
Got arrested.
Oh.
Yeah. Had a bench warrant for her arrest, stemming from her drug charges. She is on a zero tolerance policy now. She can't miss any of her piss tests. Can't be doing any kind of bad shit. So the bad news is now, the account that I have to watch her play with herself on live camera is essentially just going to be her sitting in the corner crying. You know what? It was kind of that way before anyway. So I guess it's still viable. I'll redo it.
You might as well.
I might as well.
The woman needs some money.
She does. She does. Desperately.
Desperately.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sad life for a lot of former wrestlers.
It is. Like, I have yet to. I don't want to. I want to, but I don't want to at the same time. That Chic documentary that's on Netflix. I have yet to sit down and watch it. It's been sitting in my queue, but I don't know. I'm just don't want to see it because I imagine it's probably horribly depressing.
Probably. I watched The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. That was horribly depressing.
That was. I enjoyed that a lot though.
But also sadly incredibly accurate.
Yeah, pretty much. Adam on the side says, I know this raccoon who might jerk off to that. Is that in reference to Sonny crying? I don't. Maybe.
Or the show? Maybe it's a show.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe that could be.
Yeah.
That's
It's why
very,
he moves. It's why he moves around so much and he's on camera.
It's.
That's trying to. He's trying to distract you from what's going on inside the garbage can.
Exactly. Like, whoa!
Oh, I'm using my tail.
Whoa! Good Lord. On that note,
maybe
we should wrap this one up so you can go carry your probably passed out kid to bed at this point, or is she very much awake still?
She's halfway there.
Okay. All right. So that does it for this Tuesday, September 29th, 2015 edition of the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. 184 days since Seth Rollins, won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That makes me happy that I'm back to be able to say that instead of Nikki Bella. 400,000 days.
Mm-hmm.
Go to audibletrial.com/rundown for a free audiobook and a 30-day free trial, Liberty Stage Wrestling is doing things on October 10th for Fall Fury, and we aren't from there, so we don't give a shit. Yep. Don't forget AtlanticProWrestling.com. Lucky Pro Wrestling prevents Royal Court. That sounds like a prom. Is what that sounds like. The Elks Lodge, and that's November 15th. LuckyProWrestling.com. At Rundown Podcast on Twitter. Tweet us. We live tweet Raw, the pay-per-views every once in a while when I'm not completely bogged down with work or running a successful podcast on the side. I like to live tweet old episodes of Raw. So look out for those. You can send us an email at rundownwrestling@gmail.com. That's rundownwrestling@gmail.com. Send us feedback. Send us your fake sponsors. Send us your real sponsors, because Adam really believes that people want to pay for our time on the show. That's like $50, and he'll promote your event, service, website, whatever. Pass on a message to a loved one, because nothing says I love you like the Rundown Wrestling Podcast.
That's right.
Send us a voicemail, like our friend Jizzmouth or whatever his name was earlier, or Sal. Leaves a voicemail at 206-202-6478. That's 206-20.
Angst.
There you go. Go to facebook.com/rundown wrestling for Facebook stuff. You can go to rundown.podomatic.com and make donations on the left or right, whatever side of the screen it is. Give Adam money. He is a man who doesn't like to work. Go to youtube.com/rundown podcast as well to watch us, these sexy two men right here.
Ooh.
Andy and Troy.
How is Facebook stuff not a euphemism for sex yet?
I don't know. That is a good question.
I'm going to make it that way now.
There you go. We've established it. Go to google.com/plus Adam Rundown host. Yeah, Adam, I'm sure you were the... Anyway. Yes, you missed it, Adam. Oh, shit. Jizz in your mouth, Murphy called in and I missed it. Yes, you'll have to go back and listen to that. I'm sure you had nothing to do at all with that call-in. Feeling constant? No, I'm not going to say that. Go to tinyurl.com. I'm just getting on the point of reading these things right over. Go to tinyurl.com/distant horizons. Please, someone buy one more copy of my book so I can collect some money off that. Go to shadowvein.net, where you can listen to a podcast wildly superior to the Rundown podcast, and it has nothing to do with Troy or myself. It has everything to do with Adam. But actually, no, that's not true, because Adam is our main character on the Shadow Vein podcast and does a fantastic job as well. Good job, sir. And we are going to have our finale of our episodes of Progenics Labs as soon as I finish writing and editing that, as soon as I can catch a break to sit down and, maybe I could have done it tonight, but here I am on here. Go to patreon.com/shadowvein for some cool stuff as well. Search us under iTunes or Stitcher under the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. You can listen to tens of thousands of shows on both iTunes, Stitcher, and Podomatic. But why would you want to listen to any other show than the Shadow Vein Podcast? I don't think we have any new reviews. So we'll skip that part. Adam on the side says, you needn't be an asshole about your successful podcast. I don't know if that's being an asshole. I'm just stating the truth is what I'm doing.
I'm really hoping the Pen 15 podcast becomes even more successful than this.
Hey, you know what? You know, it'd be great if we had a bunch of like other podcasts that we're involved in that are so much better than the Rundown. That would just make Adam's day.
We could make this podcast like the the forgotten child that we pushed to the corner.
You know what I should do? I should make a podcast. I should make my own podcast network, and we could host the Rundown and Shadow Vein and Pen 15 all together and try to promote everything together. That'd be kind of cool.
You go. Yeah, a little cross promotion action.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat actually. I'll see what I can do. We'll have to come up with a really good like podcast like group name or whatever. Thanks to Tegan Brown for the logo. Thanks to Adam on the side and Sean, who was there for one comment and then disappeared into the ether. Wow. Thank you, the fans, for listening, and thanks especially to my good buddy Troy. All right. And thank you to I Fight Dragons at ifightdragons.com for the theme song. Next week. Oh, I miss that so much. Next week, we'll have discussions of wrestling and things that are probably boring because it's not WrestleMania time yet. And yeah. And I probably won't be here. So enjoy me while you can, folks. And as always. I was like, it's quiet. And as always. Jacob, good night and good luck. And Fandango to shadowvein.net. And tune in next time for another for another Lucy-filled episode of the Rundown Wrestling Podcast. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
And stop. You know what the great thing about this new computer I just put together?
What's that?
When I hit the stop button, it no longer freaks out and freezes for like 2 minutes.
Nice.
It's just like, we're done.
We're done? Oh. Okay, I guess we'll just keep. Do you want me to export it too while you're at it? Or
I wish you would do that for me. That'd be fantastic.
Right.
Rundown. Let's see. What was the last episode? I have not been on since episode 211.
Wow.
That's insane. It's 218. Let's save this bitch. Actually, let me get rid of the background noise real quick. All right. Let me noise removal. Let's see how fast this goes. That'd be great if this goes really quickly.
Put it back right under the pancakes.
Welcome to the post show, which will be probably fairly short today.
Well, I'm not going to make you pancakes. It's 8:30 at night.
I love the product placement. This week's episode of the Rundown brought to you by Aunt Jemima's Pancakes. Have a little kid that won't go to sleep? Put a little NyQuil in your pancakes. That'll clear it right up.
This close.
Aunt Jemima's Pancakes.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, sorry, Adam. I apologize. We're new at this. We're not very good. This is what you get when you get us. All right, let's go back to the folder with a rundown. And 120 or no, 218. How fast this goes. Less than a minute. All right, cool. You just want to like send it through Dropbox, or you want to send it like through? do you want to send the file through whatever that thing's called? I don't think I have Skype downloaded yet. Doesn't matter to me. I can download Skype real quick. I'm sure it'll do it like in 3 seconds.
Skype would probably be best because I don't remember my Dropbox podcast or whatever it is. So.
Let me find Skype because I need to download that anyway. Get Skype. Download for your Windows machine. There we go. Let's see. Skype.exe. I agree. I don't want to make Bing my default search engine. No one wants to make Bing their default search engine.
No shit.
All right. Installing. Please wait. This may take a few minutes. All right. Please wait while Skype is being installed. Come on, Skype. All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast so Adam can't hear us talk bad about him. Bye, people.